How you guys doing? Eugene Johnson, founder of Make Your Mind an Asset, and today we're going to ask the question, is it okay to set selfish goals? I remember starting off as a newbie entrepreneur, and I remember them telling me in this training series that you need to set these lofty goals, or you need to set goals that are bigger than yourself, right? And so you see these goals and you're hearing other people's goals and you're trying to set your own goals, and you're new at trying to figure all this out. So you're sitting down and you're trying to set your goals. And I don't know if this has ever been you, but I know this has been me, where I've set in this goal and then I started writing the goal. I'm like, man, that's too selfish. Maybe I should put my family in it. Maybe I should say something about my mom. Maybe I should say something about, my brothers and sisters. Maybe I should say, and I started trying to set the goal that was noble. Maybe I should say something I want to do for society. And I started moving away from the goal that I actually wanted. And so I started setting these goals, and I realized something. Though these goals were bigger than me, it was so far away as far as being realistic. So I set these goals hoping that it would inspire me to get to a higher level. And as I set these goals, I realized something. They weren't really motivating me. And I was trying to figure out why. I was thinking, well, is it because I'm not setting it right? Is it because I'm not putting the right words to it? Is it because I'm not putting it in front of myself enough? I was just trying to figure out, why is this not really motivating me to go do more? And when I realized, I listened to a gentleman by the name of Tony Robbins, and something clicked inside of me immediately. And Tony Robbins said something, and he broke a myth that I had, and I know a lot of other people have, which is, I need to set these lofty, noble goals, and I can't set a selfish goal. He said, Eugene, now he wasn't talking to me, but that's what it felt like. He said, Eugene, if you set this goal and they're incongruent to your values, you'll never do the right activities in order to achieve that goal. And so I realized instantly, I was setting these goals because it made me feel better about myself as a person. I was setting these goals because, I felt like if somebody was to see my goal list, they would say, oh, that's a noble goal, young sir. And so I was hoping for people to say it was a good goal. I was hoping for, when I set it in front of people, that people would applaud and say, man, that's good of you. You're such a good son. You're such a good brother. You're such a good husband or wife or a good friend. Like, you're such a good person to the society. You're a great leader because of the goals that you set. And I was setting these goals that weren't motivating me. And I realized that my goals weren't congruent to my values. Now, did I not care about my mom and the other people around me? Of course I did. But I was setting goals that was so far out that it was hard for me to get motivated, and it wasn't congruent to my current situation right now. Some of my goals should have been pay your bills, right? I was so broke, I needed to pay my bills. So that should have been my goal. But instead, my goal was like, buy my mom a house. Now, though I wanted to get there, I was so far away that I'm setting these noble goals that didn't really fit me. And it doesn't even matter what the goal is. Sometimes we get pressured into the situation of doing what society thinks is right. You can't set a goal to want a car. Why not? Why not? People buy cars every day. Why not? You can't set a goal to buy a house. You can't set a goal to put money away. You can't set a goal to travel around the world for a year. You've got to be more practical than that. See, what people will do is they'll try to force you into a position of thinking the way they want you to think, instead of thinking the way and doing the things that make you happy, that are congruent with how you feel. And that's the big myth. The myth is that you've got to set these noble goals in order to succeed. And it's totally the opposite. Now, if your goal is noble and it motivates you, then great, set that. But so many people make the mistake of trying to set these goals hoping that other people will see them or hear them, or even when they look at it themselves, they don't feel like they're selfish for setting them. But it's okay to set goals that impact your life, because a sinking ship will never SOS to another sinking ship. Sometimes you need to get yourself to a point where you're not sinking anymore so that you can go back and help other people, lift other people out of their situation. A good mentor of mine used to say all of the time, sometimes you've got to sell out to get out out to come back to help out. And sometimes you got to do that. If you're not in a place where you need to be personally, you've got to be able to set goals that align to you and who you are, what will motivate you. Because if you really care about those other things nobly, then you'll do them when you get to the place that you want to be. But when you act like you care about them right now, when you know that those are not the things that are going to motivate you to get to the next level, then don't set those goals. If you, ladies, if you like purses and shoes, set a goal for purses and shoes, right? Guys, if you like cars, set a goal for cars. Whatever the goal is, don't let anybody bring you down because of their way of thinking. Look, you got to be able to push other people's opinion out of the way and say, here's what I want to do for me. Here's what's going to motivate me to get up out of the bed every single day, because you need a strong motivation. And some of those large, lofty things, sometimes they're so far out, so far down the line that it's hard to even get the motivation enough on a daily basis to get there. And so set the goals that are going to motivate you today. And so here's how you set selfish goals, right? And I'm sure you've never heard a trainer say, here's how you set selfish goals. But here's how you set selfish goals. Number one, you make sure your goal aligns to your values. So you sit down and you say, okay, I want this, but where am I at as far as my value sequence, as far as what's valuable to me right now? What's going to motivate me? And put down what actually is going to motivate you. Not what you think should motivate you, not what you think is the noble thing, but what will absolutely get you out of the bed. What are the things you absolutely care about? In the beginning, I had to change up. I wanted to make a difference in the world as my goal. And look, I want to get a Lamborghini, right? I mean, that's what I wanted. So sometimes you got to get away from the things that you think you should. Right now, what is it that's actually going to drive you? Because, going after your goals is difficult. It's tough. It's hard. Every single day is a challenge. It's a challenge to not procrastinate. It's a challenge to get out of the bed. It's a challenge to not quit. It's a challenge to go after your goals. So why would you go after something knowing that it's not going to motivate you just because of the appearance? And that's what a lot of people do. So that's the first thing you need to do, is you got to be able to align your goals with your values. Here's the second thing, and this might be countercultural because I know a lot of people say that you should do this, but don't worry about telling the world. Now, I get it. Some people say, hey, well, you should, proclaim it to the world, put it on social media, put it on Facebook, tell everybody in the world that you're going after this goal. And for some people, that might be a good thing. But for most people, the social pressure is not always the best thing. Matter of fact, sometimes it pushes the people away from the goal and not towards it, because they get so scared about what other people care about and what other people say and how other people think that they don't actually do the thing necessary. And then because people, all of us, we all have opinions like belly buttons. We all have them and they're useless most times, right? So we all have opinions, and because everybody has an opinion, everybody's telling you something different than what you were already going after. So you set your goal, you've got your plan, you've laid it out, you put it out there in front of everybody, and guess what? Everybody's got a contradiction. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, how about this? And did you think about that? And I read this book over here, and my mentor over here said, and then you get caught up because some of the things they say, man, that sounds good. Man, that sounds better than what I'm doing over here. And then you get flustered, and guess what happens? A confused mind does nothing. And so sometimes it's okay to just say, look, I don't need to tell the world, because a lot of times when you tell the world, and we all do this every single day, and you do it just like I do it, every single day we are our own PR firm in today's economy. What we do is we tell the world who we want the world to think we are. So we position ourselves and say, this is who I am, and this is who I've been. I do it every single day, man. I feel like this is who I am. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a thought leader. I'm a husband. I'm a father. These are the things that I try to put out there. And these are the things that I want the world to know me as. We chopped and photoshopped and edited our lives. And so that's just the way the world is today. And there's nothing wrong with it. But when you put your stuff out there, you're going to chop and Photoshop and edit it. So you're proclaiming, but you're really proclaiming in a way that makes you look like the person you've always been. Because our human nature is to stay aligned with our core values, which is why having goals against our core values and not aligned doesn't work. So we put this put picture out there of what we want the world to see us as. We set it out and we say, hey, we proclaimed it to the world. But we didn't proclaim what we really wanted. We proclaimed the thing that would make us look like the person that we want to look like. And so don't worry about telling the world. You know who you should tell? You should find some accountability partners. You should find some people who are going to drive you. You should find some people who are on the same path as you, some peers. Maybe even find some people underneath you, people who are trying to come up to where you are, and start to share with them, here's what my goals are. Here's what I'm trying to do. And be honest with those people. If you're open and honest with those people, then great. If you can't be open and honest with those people, then you need to at least be open and honest with your accountability partners and your mentors and say, hey, here's what I'm going after. Here's the true and the honest thing. Here's what my goals are. So don't worry about telling the world. Just set the goals, get your accountability partners, get your mentors, and align them to what the goal is, and let them keep you accountable to where you're trying to go. And the third thing is just to take action. Every single day, take a small piece of action that's going to walk you closer to that goal. Because the closer and closer you get to the goal, and don't be worried about being afraid that you're not going to get to the noble goal. You'll get there over time. It's okay. Like, because I'm in Silicon Valley, I own a tech company, and because I own this tech company, I'm around a whole bunch of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs. And I was just at an event the other day, the Startup Grind, and I was talking to entrepreneurs and asking them what your company does and what are you guys trying to do. And every single person was saying, we've got this piece of technology that will literally change the world. And we've got this piece of thing, this little small thing, and this shift in the market here, and all of these things, and it will change the entire world. Mankind will be better because of this thing. And I'm like, dude, how long have you been in business? Oh, we just got started 6 weeks ago. So in 6 weeks, you created an entire process that's going to change the world. Like, come on, like, be real. But Silicon Valley, it's crazy like that. People are trying to have this mentality of, because they hear the Mark Zuckerberg stories and all these other stories of people who have gotten to a point where now their overarching goal is how they can impact the world. But I guarantee you, it didn't start there. You got to start somewhere and take action steps every single day until you get to the point where you can do the noble goals on a grand scale, and where the noble goals will motivate you because now you're closer to them. Now you can see them. They're in your reach. And if they're in your reach, you can take the actions necessary to get you to that goal. Plus, you're no longer sinking. So now, because you're no longer sinking, you're okay with trying to figure out other people and help other people because you locked down yourself. And those are the 3 things that I wanted you to do. And I've got an action step for you. And here's that action step. Sit down and take the time to reevaluate your goals. And most people don't do this. So if you set your goals in the beginning of the year, right now we're in March, the end of March. Right now, the first 90 days, the first quarter of the year is done. So are you going to sit down and say, I'm just going to keep going with my 2016 goals? Or are you going to sit back and reevaluate it and say, all right, where am I going? How close am I? How far off am I? Did I set goals that didn't align to what I really wanted, what my real core values were? Was I okay with setting some selfish goals a bit to get me to the next level? You got to be able to sit down and reevaluate, especially now. Most people have already quit. By January 15th, they quit their New Year's resolutions already. Right now in the first quarter, most people, I would say 99.9% of the people have already quit. But you can be the person to pick it back up. It's okay. Like, there's nothing magical about January 1st besides the fact that you had the opportunity to set a goal. So now we're in March, whatever the date today is, March. Set a goal today and make a new life change from now until the next year, March, whatever, right? So it doesn't have to be on a specific day. Just set a goal, reevaluate it, make sure it aligns with what you want, and then go after it. So I urge you, I'm encouraging you to take the time, set the goal, reevaluate it if you've already set the goals in the beginning of the year, and figure out, do they align? Reestablish yourself to take small steps every single day to get you to that next goal. Once again, it's your friend Eugene Johnson. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you haven't already, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, share this so this video can get out. I'm hoping that you will share the love, pass it on. But like always, remember, let no man steal your vision, because no man gave it to you. God bless.